business legacy on purpose through mindset, branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team so they can make an amazing impact and income and positively affect their communities worldwide. Ensure that you are sharing this show, you're subscribing, and you also are leaving us a review so we can create more amazing content around those areas to help you level up to the next level and also bring amazing guest experts that can share their knowledge and expertise with you so that you can create amazing legacy. All right, let's create amazing legacy. We're back with another show and another beautiful guest, a repeat guest actually this time. I'm so excited to have Shataun Rogers back, and we're going to talk about one of the very important areas of our lives that gives us actually the most joy and happiness, which is relationships. I know a lot of us that unite and watch the show are business leaders, CEOs. We're all successful. We're all driven. We're all purpose driven, but we understand that this one area is something that if we're not prioritizing it or if we're not purposeful around it, it could go by the wayside very, very fast. So, Shatan, thank you so much for coming back on. It was so great to have you back on and to really reconnect with you again.
Thank you for having me, Elona. It's good to be back. It's good to see you. So thank you so much for inviting me again. I appreciate it.
It is such a pleasure. So, Shatan, the life school community grows daily. I have new people that have joined us. So, if they haven't actually seen our next interview, I will tag the other interview we did together. Can you introduce yourself to the audience? What is it that you do? And a few of the meaningful moments that led you to the work that you're doing would be also helpful.
Wonderful. Yes. So I am Shataun Rogers. I am a relationship and transformational life coach. My focus is on relationships. I just recently revamped my program, and it's called the Relationship Blueprint. And the reason that I revamped it is because I found out that there are gender wars going on out here in the dating field, the dating and relationship field. And it baffled me that there's no unity going on here. And it's because of unhealed trauma. And so I wanted to tap more into that. And then I also had a lot of men reaching out to me, asking me if I coach men as well. And so I opened it and expanded it to men and women. So yeah, I help them to heal from trauma and to break cycles of relationships that they just keep attracting the same type of relationship over and over again, unhealthy, toxic kind of relationships. And then I give them the tools and the strategies and the modalities that they need so that they can start to attract healthy relationships.
Wow, that's powerful. So now you got me very curious. I haven't been in the market dating wise for a long time personally, but what is going on out there?
Oh my
What's
gosh,
happening?
Elona, it is a mess. It is a mess. You know, I was off the market for 14 years too. So I've just been back out, on the market for a year. I haven't really gotten out there because, I was in Mexico for a year. So I wasn't dating while I was over there, but, talking to a few people. And, I have a clubhouse room. And so I'm very active in clubhouse. And that's when I found out about these gender wars. And so basically, what the relationship blueprint is, and me just paying attention to what's going on, it's lack of accountability, no communication, no ownership, no responsibility, no lack of vulnerability, detachment from love altogether. It's a business, it's a partnership, which is okay, but it's a partnership with no love. It's, modern versus traditional. Like it is so much going on. So my program is to give them the foundation of all the things that I just mentioned so that they can learn to build upon that, to trust and love again and to come back home to love.
Mm.
So that's basically, the direction that I'm going in with that.
That is so interesting. So you're observing that personally, and also through a lot of the work you're probably doing now, focusing more in this area. That that's what people are bringing into the relationship, and there's a lot of, obviously they're not finding the right person. Like, what is the main issue that you see that you really felt compelled to kind of focus on with your program? Like, what are the specific things that you have seen that you feel like, okay, I gotta fix this problem, I have a solution to this, and I have something to add value around, to someone that might be in that arena, right, in the market, because we're in business, right? So here most of us are entrepreneurs and business leaders, so you might be in the market for, to find a fulfilling relationship that fills you at that next level. So yeah, what are some of those things that you have seen, that you could share with us?
Well, I'm first of all, I am teaching a lot about dating terminology. There are so
Mm,
many terminologies. There's breadcrumbing, there's ghosting. I mean, it's just like so many of these different names that's out here now. A big part of it also is I'm teaching people how to date. People don't date, they don't
mm,
court. They think because they go on a date that they're in a relationship. And that's causing a
mm.
lot of confusion. It's a difference between dating and being in a relationship. And so it's a lot of people being hurt, men and women, because they assume because they went on a date or two or they took it to the next level that automatically puts them in a relationship. And it doesn't. It does not put you in a relationship. So it's a lot of miscommunication going on. Then you have benching, where men have like six women and they put like three women on the bench and they put the top three women, to see who's doing the best. And it is unbelievable. So I'm teaching about the terminologies, I'm teaching about dating, I'm teaching about relationships, and then how to be in a relationship that leads to marriage if that's something that you want. Do you want a traditional marriage? Do you want a modern marriage? You can't have both. It can't be both. You have to
Yeah,
choose.
yeah.
So it's a lot. It's a lot,
Woo!
Ilona. Yeah,
Yeah. You are, first of all, as you're saying that, it is so similar to business. We don't all get the training on how to go from building trust to making a sale. And it sounded like the
exactly.
same thing out there. We almost, because we have so much freedom now, and that's great, right? We can make a lot of different choices. It seems like we've gone to the other extreme where people, now to kind of have to reevaluate what is it that they want actually in a relationship, come up with that clarity, reassess their values, and all of this foundational work, which I'm sure will then, translate into that relationship that they're looking for, that makes them happy, whatever that means, right? Because that's
Exactly.
the other part. It was easy for many generations because you only had the traditional model of, okay,
Exactly.
you just get like the first person you speak to, okay, now I got married. That was in my culture for a while, right? So I could see a lot of that. Wow, I'm so glad that you're actually, doing this kind of work, because it's really powerful for a lot of people, because they're chasing the wrong thing and they don't even know what they're looking for. There's
Exactly.
a lot of
Yeah.
confusion. So of course you're never going to have the result, or even if you have the person, right, then you probably can't even keep the person, right, and you can't sustain the relationship, or you
Yes.
give up too quickly because it's
Yeah.
just not aligned. So I love
Uh,
the foundational work you're doing through your program. So tell me about that. What are those foundational pillars that you teach in your program, relationship wise, that you feel people need to kind of take a step back and start evaluating doing this work step by step, so they can again get that to that fulfilling relationship that they can sustain, and they're focusing and they're attracting the right person?
again, there has to be accountability. No, men or women are not taking accountability. There has to be trust. There has to be openness. There has to be transparency. There has to be communication, honesty. just the foundation of what, and the problem is men and women are choosing what they want to build the foundation out of, and it's sinking sand. You have to have all of these components in order to have a concrete foundation to build upon. If you don't have a concrete foundation and it's sinking sand, it's going to sink. You can't build anything on sinking sand. So I have a master class that I started. It's called the Relationship Blueprint Master Class. It's once a month. It's the last Saturday of every month, and every month I go through the different pillars. So I go through. Let's talk about vulnerability. Let's talk about openness. Let's talk about transparency. And so every month I go through one of the pillars of the foundation, and then we build on that. Every month we just build on a different one. So I do believe that that's missing, and there's such it's a fear factor. Everybody's scared. And I mean, that is something that's always been around. We've always been afraid, right? We don't want to get hurt. We don't want to be made a fool out of. We don't, want to be the one who somebody breaks up with us or leaves us or whatever. It's always been like that. There's nothing new under the sun. But for whatever reason, something is going on now where everybody is just so afraid. Everybody is afraid. And so I help to remove that fear, because whatever it is that's going on within you. So let's see what's going on within you. Let's heal that. Let's heal your heart. Let's bring you home to love. That's what we're here for. We're not supposed to run from it. We're supposed to run to it, right? So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm going. And like I said, the Relationship Blueprint Masterclass, it's the last Saturday of every month, and I just launched that, so it's starting this month. And that's kind of the direction I'm going in. And then of course I have programs as well. So yeah, that's kind of where it's going, Alona.
My goodness. Well, that sounds like a lot of self work, right? But this
Yes.
area could be the motivator, right? Because for a lot of us that are watching the show, it's usually business is the catalyst. Like we have to do a lot. Well, we get to do. I don't love the word we have to do, because that's another, like, who has to do what? Nobody. You choose to do purposely if that is in your path. But it sounds like business growth is the catalyst for a lot of other entrepreneurs, but relationships might be the catalyst for someone to go in and do the self work and the healing that they're so desperately looking, and striving for. Because I bet you it's not even about the result of attracting the right person on the outside, because you have to become that person so
Exactly.
that you can attract that energetically as well. However, I could see how it's just easier to just go into the next and the next and the next, into the quick, fast, I don't know, instant gratification with this area as well, and avoid a lot of the inner work, which is scary. But I mean, it's the growing pain that you grow through personally, because if you want to come on the other side, then of course you are transforming into that better version of yourself, and it will save you a lot of pain from your personal life. Because I bet you that's just a symptom out there with relationships, right?
It
I
is.
mean,
It
you're
is.
probably struggling in your day to day with your happiness and the feelings that you are probably overcoming. So, wow. I mean, I just, yeah, I mean, I could speak this language very easily in the business world, but it's amazing how this translates into relationships as well. So this
Mhm.
is like exciting stuff that you're actually putting together these master classes, and you're helping people in this area at such a level. And yeah, healing trauma, I think there we can't get away from that, because it will show up in everything else we do. So rather than being afraid of not, looking at our skeletons in the closet or operating out of ego, it's like, what can I learn? What is this here to teach me? And every relationship is there for a season anyway. What is there to be afraid? There's no such wrong season,
Exactly.
right? Just because I've been my husband 20 years does not mean that maybe in another season of our life, and we're growing healthy in our own ways, in a healthy way, maybe you'll just know, we all evolve as human. The process of evolution does not mean that yes, we had the traditional mindset for a long time, forever we all go with that intention. But if it served you for a season, then you learn those lessons in that season. So what is there to be afraid of? Just be
Exactly.
connected to yourself and have fun with this area as well. So amazing, amazing. And as far as trauma is concerned, Shatan, because I know you've done a lot of work into this, you're doing this for years. This is just your latest, obviously, just reinventing what the
Yeah.
work that you've been doing for years in another capacity, because I guess you're feeling called now to serve in this capacity. And that is so normal as we grow and evolve as well. But what are some top symptoms of trauma that you have seen with your clients that show up in their personal lives, and of course they leak into relationships, because how else would that happen? What are some of the things that people should be looking out for, and if they start to see these signs, that's the first clue to self-awareness that there is something deeper that they could be addressing.
And it is about the self awareness. And I teach a lot about self awareness because what ends up happening, the biggest thing is denial. A
Mhm.
lot of men and women are in denial that it could possibly be them. It could possibly be you that has the red flags, that is not committing, that is not showing commitment, that is playing games, whether you know that you're playing games or not. You have one foot in, you have one foot out. So there's a lot of denial that goes on. So the steps are taking them out of denial, bringing them into awareness, bringing them into self acceptance so that they can begin to heal.
Hmm.
So it's mainly, it really is the denial. Nobody wants to feel like they're the problem. So they would rather, like you said, they would rather just keep on going from person to person to person to person. But the thing about that is you're going from person to person expecting different results and doing the same thing. You're not going to get different results. You're going to keep getting the same thing because you're not working on, you're looking externally for something that's going on inside of you. You have to find that within you first. If you're not happy, no one else can make you happy. If you're not in love with yourself, you can't be in love with somebody else. How can you be in love with somebody if you can't be in love with yourself, right?
You have no love to give because you haven't even given it to yourself. So how can you project something else that you
Exactly.
don't even have inside of you? Wow.
Exactly.
So then, if it's denial, which is so easy to do, right? Push it under the rug. Don't deal with it. Avoidance is a big problem, right?
Yes.
Then what are the pain points? What are the experience that you've seen? What are some of the pain points? Because sometimes, I mean, unfortunately, we wake up faster because we have pain in our life, like a divorce, or like we're so miserable in our relationship. Like, what are some of those like red flags that they see that I guess makes us look inside and deal with that denial, that unless something is going on, it's easier to just keep the things going, and it's like, oh, nothing's happening, to kind of brush things off, but they will come back to you to bite you if this is the work that needs to be addressed and has not been addressed. So what are some of those big red flags?
If you find that you can't commit, if you are a serial dater, you can, you go on one date or two dates and then that's that, and then you go on another date or and another date. If you can't take that dating into the next level, it's considered serial dating. If you can't be committed in a relationship, if you are constantly cheating, even in the dating phase, you can't find yourself committing, trying to commit to one person, that's another red flag. If you can't keep in contact with this person, you talk to them maybe once a week, this person really likes you, they're trying to talk to you every day. If you're not responding to them, if you are not responding to texts, if you are not responding to phone calls, if you are not reaching out to this person, even though you're leading this person on, making them think that you want to be in a relationship with them, that is a red flag. If you are constantly having these um, the same things happening over and over and over again, then there's something going on. If you're having the same results over and over again in how you're dating and how you're in relationships, then that's something that's going on with you.
Well,
You can't continue to be a serial dater. You can't continue to be a serial cheater. You can't, have 6 and 7 women and then, end up breaking up with all 7 of them saying they're the problem. I tried to date 7 women and there was something wrong with all of them. No, that's not true. There's something going on with you.
yeah.
So it'll be, little subtle signs like that.
Well, there you have it. I think that's clearer for most people to really understand. So if they resonate with that, yeah, there's definitely something underneath. So the support you're giving is amazing. Where is it that people can continue the conversation with you, Shatan, or find more information around all the things that you're doing, or even the free masterclass you mentioned?
So the free masterclass, I do have a link that where you can sign up for the class. You can go to my website at www.relationshipfreedomforwomen.com. I also have a private Facebook page called Relationship Blueprint, and all the information is in there as well. If anybody wants to join the group, and again, it's men and women. It's not just for women; it's for both men and women.
All right, beautiful. And the website's on the screen. So I personally thank you again for all this beautiful work that you're doing in the world. It's so necessary. It's a complete mission for sure in assisting people in this very important area. And then this area actually catalysts their own self growth. And I always say that purpose driven entrepreneurs doing meaningful work in society and positively affecting other people, this is how we'll change the world. And a few of us that have a little more awareness or have done some of this work for ourselves, we just got to give our hand out now to someone else. And this way we get to impact humanity as a whole. So thank you for everything you do. And thank you again for coming on our show. And I will see you guys next
Thank
time
you.
with another show. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye, everybody.
You too. Thank you, Elona. Bye, everybody.